So why don't we start with her name and then we'll be rolling.
Okay, so what's your name?
My name's Mary Everett Patriquin, and I'm the volunteer coordinator at the Housing Assistance Corporation.
Can you tell me something about what you do there?
Mainly what I do at the center is try to coordinate the use and operation of volunteers throughout the agency. We have more than 500 volunteers who work in a very wide range of capacities with us, and it takes a certain amount of doing to make sure that everyone's doing the right thing in the right place at the right time.
Can you give me some idea of the breadth and depth of what all these volunteers are doing?
Volunteers work with us in a very wide range of capacities. We have volunteers who work in our shelters providing direct service to our clients. That would include things like child care, meal preparation, front desk support, providing recreational classes, craft classes. We have people who provide office support in our main offices, which is an invaluable function that frees up our staff to work on the most urgent matters. We have volunteers who help us with annual events, such as our Walk to End Homelessness and our annual telethon. And we have volunteers who serve on a variety of advisory boards and committees.
Well, that's a huge amount of stuff, actually.
It's incredible to me how many people we have come out who want to support the agency, who want to support our clients. That's the biggest motivation for people, is they really want to help people. They really want to feel that they can do something personally to make the life of someone else better.
One of the things that struck me when I first started looking into this area was the volunteers that come to NOAA every night to cook, with dinner. Could you talk a little bit about that?
We have a very large number of church and family groups that provide all the meal preparation for breakfast and dinner at our NOAA shelter. Most of that food is also served by those groups. Last year alone, we had 43,800 meals prepared and served for NOAA residents. It's a staggering amount of work and time, and it's one of the most basic functions of the shelter to make sure that people have 2 meals a day to eat. And people sometimes think that they're not doing that much by coming out once a month on Thursday night and bringing sandwiches or bringing a hot dinner. But those are very often people who would have gone without a meal hadn't those volunteers stepped forward and offered their time.
So they're providing time and the food as well.
Both food is prepared by our volunteers as well as served, and the food preparation means that they're coming up with the food ingredients themselves. Some of those are provided by food pantries in the area, but on many occasions those are actually provided by individuals or the church or donations from private individuals.
Have you spoken to people about why they volunteer?
I think what motivates volunteers is really a very basic feeling that they want to contribute. They want to make the life of one other person better. None of our volunteers believe that they're going to come in once a week or once a month and change the whole face of homelessness and housing need on Cape Cod. But they come in believing that maybe they can make the life of one person better. And that's really how you get through hard times. Our community, our country has been through very difficult times in the last year, and it can be overwhelming. But the most basic instinct for people is myself helping one other person. And I really believe that even though we can be overwhelmed by the challenges, the way we get through them is one person at a time. We get through them hand in hand. It's one person putting out their hand in an offering to another person and someone else picking up that chain. And that's what makes the difference.
If you were going to speak to a potential volunteer wasn't sure, about whether she should come or not to hack. What might you say to her?
Renee, that's a terrible question.
Well, what would you say? I mean, I guess that what
to
I'm
convince
saying is,
them?
yeah, what would you say to confuse them? No. What
No,
would you say
convince.
to, how would you express the need? In other words, I've come to your office. I want to volunteer. I'm really not sure exactly what I want to do, but I have that urge, to do it. How can you express the need for me to join the whole legion of volunteers? I mean, what is it that our clients are looking for, in this volunteer relationship?
I think our clients appreciate our volunteers tremendously because they do get that sense that someone cares about me. I'm not just a face in the crowd, that someone is actually here at the shelter or here in the office to answer my questions, to help provide for my most basic needs. Where am I going to sleep that night? Where am I going to get my next meal? How are my children going to be cared for while I'm going through a recovery program? And clients see every day the tremendous amount of work that volunteers are doing. Most of our direct service programs could not happen without the support of our volunteers. And they feel that connection. They understand that people are giving of their time. They don't have to be there. Volunteers could be doing anything else in life they wanted to at that moment. They could be indulging in pure entertainment, but they're not doing that. They're making a choice to give of themselves, and clients receive that with a tremendous amount of grace and gratitude.
It sounds very different from a large bureaucracy that's simply performing a function. I mean, it sounds to me like volunteers almost have are part of the humanity of what we do.
It's a very intimate relationship, I think, between volunteers and the staff and the clients. People get to know each other. People get to know each other's stories. People hear about, very private details of each other's lives. And that forges something. That really makes a strong connection between people. And that's part of what uplifts people. It's not simply the programs or the bed or the dinner. It's that someone here really cares. Someone here really cares about me personally and wants to do what they can to help. There's a tremendous bond, I think.
Now, one of the groups of volunteers you're dealing with are the Americorps volunteers. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
We're very pleased this year to have with us a team of 6 Americorps members. Americorps is a national service program that sends volunteers out to address the most critical community needs: education, the environment, disaster preparedness. And this year, due to monies from the Federal Recovery Act, we were very fortunate to get our own team, our own dedicated team, full-time for 10 months. 6 tremendous individuals. They're all about college age. They've mostly all finished college. And really wanted a place to give back to the community. So they're working with us, some in direct client service. Some are working on maintenance of our many facilities and apartments, houses that we rent and lease. Some of them are working in, I've completely forgotten what else. Some of them are working in our housing consumer education program, helping homeowners and renters learn more about foreclosure classes, about first-time homebuyer classes. Our workshops on building your credit, our workshops on financial literacy. So part of it is getting the word out to folks about what the different kinds of services that HAC has available. So the Americorps team has been invaluable. All of our staff are going to be in mourning when they leave us next July. They bring a tremendous amount of dedication and enthusiasm.
There's an event coming up. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Our Americorps team is working on a very big event for Saturday, May 1st, which is called the Barnstable Big Fix, where they will be organizing teams of volunteers to go out into the community and help do cleanup and light repairs at the homes of elderly and disabled residents. It's going to be a big day with, I think, a big impact, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun too.
Are there any other things that they're doing, like, you know, specific event-wise, or is that the main thing between now and when they leave us?
That's really the big one.
Okay.
That's the big one.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to say to people who might want to volunteer? How can they reach you?
If people are interested in volunteering, they can go to our website, which is www.hack-on-Cape-Cod, that's H-A-C, on Cape Cod.org. Make sure you put in .org or not a .com. You won't be able to find us that way. And you can click on the volunteer link that will appear on your left on the home page. That will take you to a list of our regular volunteer positions and also an application form that we'll ask you to fill out and return to us, just so that we can learn a little bit more about you.
Oh, I have one other question. Is volunteering a good way to learn about or to get experience in getting a job?
Volunteering is absolutely a great way to develop job skills, to get some basic experience to put on your resume, to try out new skills. If you've come from a completely different background and you have an interest in human services, it's a terrific way to see what it's really like to work inside a human service agency, to see if it's the right fit for you, and again, to get some basic experience that really makes a difference on your resume.